to open the other line so I can see the comments. Okay. Just waiting on Lisa to go.
Okay, I'm gonna meditate myself.
Okay. Okay. Hey y'all, we just waiting on Dr. Collins, and then we could get started. Hey Nyla. Okay, let's see where she at. No, we're just waiting on her. Okay, we're just waiting on Dr. Collins, and then we'll get started. What is this? What's that? What we be listening to on the car? What that is? Serious? Hey y'all, we just waiting on Dr. Collins. Okay, there she go. Bring them on the video. Okay, bring them on the video. Hey,
All right, there we go. You know me and technology.
I know it.
I'm stressed out. I'm like, oh
Okay,
my God.
come look at my phone. Look at that. Oh, girl.
Oh my
Yes,
gosh.
you give it to him. You're not Lisa no more. You what, Dr. What?
Dr. Yeah.
I
Lord,
love it. I can't wait to do mine
thank
in
you.
October.
Thank you.
Oh, you gotta get it done every 2 weeks.
Yeah. Well, I got it cut the first time, but I think I can maintain it till it start growing back. I can give myself edge ups. So, yeah.
Lisa, I like that.
I don't know.
I like that.
We'll see. I love it in the summer. Like it's so light and so we'll see.
It just gives you
At
that
first I thought it
vibe.
made me look old. So,
No, I think it brings out the youthfulness.
oh, okay. Look, now I can play.
Girl,
So you got you
this is
got
the first time
everything
I
right.
saw you.
I know it's been
So
so long.
we gotta get together
I
soon.
know. I know.
You been
Are you going
busy
to
with
Keena's
kids.
birthday thing?
Yeah, I'm going.
Did you get a?
I'm going. When is it? I
Uh,
think the 9th.
I don't know. It's sometime in August. Her husband sent a thing. I just said yeah, but I don't even know what date it is.
I think
So
the 9th. I think
we'll
you have
see.
to wear all white.
Cause yeah, because I'm in the process. Like I gotta get my daughter's in college at Texas A&M Commerce. She's doing good, and then my middle son, goes on the 20th. Well, I think I'm taking on the 21st or 22nd, one of those. So I'm about to get him in college. My oldest one, it's his birthday today. My oldest, he's 20 today.
How is he doing?
And so, yeah.
I have to send. Give me your babies, both of them, their addresses so I can send them a college journal. Just for
Yeah.
because they were so sweet. They were so sweet,
Yeah.
girl.
You got to meet both of
I
them.
did, and they were manable. You could tell the upbringing. I just, yeah, they were so sweet. I love them.
Oh my.
Yes, is it 7:30 yet? Okay, we got 3 more minutes, guys, and we're gonna get started. We're just having girl talk right now.
What's going on? All right.
Don't put some music on.
So I'm typing up this little. Look, this is these are the autograph books that I have, and I have another one too. These two. This is the one. It's called Pushes Come to Shove, and it's by Dr. Steve Perry, and he was a principal, and he his school, everybody all went on to college, like 100% of these young boys. It was all black boys, and but it's all he talks about it here. He says getting our kids the education they deserve, even if it means picking a fight.
Catch your
And
title.
so he
I
signed
like
it.
that.
I know he autographed it for me. I took Trayvon. I took my oldest,
Uh-huh.
so he autographed. He said, "Lisa, you inspire me," because I
I
was
like
telling him I'm
that.
an educator and stuff. And so that's what he wrote. This was, gosh, I mean, yeah. But I actually my name on here, but but it's. I thought it'd be a nice deal. Somebody have an autograph book, and the topic
Hmm.
is appropriate.
So
This other
guys,
one is
this would be a
coming
gift
in. Hey y'all.
yes, yeah, they can
Okay.
see you. So guys, this is a giveaway that Dr. Collins will be giving you. This,
Oh,
yes.
we should wait. Let everybody. They have to fight over. It.
Oh, we're gonna
They have to earn
mention
it.
it again. We're gonna mention it
Oh, I
again.
got something for them. Yeah, they have to. I'll give a couple with like one before we really get into the discussion too far, and then maybe one at the end, a
Okay,
couple at the end. We'll see.
we'll see.
But yeah, this is the other one.
Oh, where you got
Becoming
that
the
one from?
educator they need. It's by Robert Jackson, and
Uh-huh.
it's also an autographed copy. So
Okay.
I'm gifting y'all with some really good gifts, but you know what they said, to pass it on.
Yes.
Pay it
Yes.
forward, pass it on. I'm about to retire, so this is like someone that's getting in the game. They can use this better than I can, or.
Mm-hmm.
So
Or even if you're not even in the game, you just want to be
yeah,
knowledgeable of
just
what's going on.
want to know how to do it because we're gonna talk about that too.
Mm-hmm.
It takes a village. We got away from the village,
Yes.
and then
So
I also have a couple more. This one. I like this one too. Anyone that's interested in becoming a principal or ED or superintendent, something like that, this one is leading within systems of inequity in education. So this book will help them as a person of color to actually lead an organization like that. So we'll see about that one. And then this is a new one. I haven't read this, so I don't know. This one is not light but fire. How to lead meaningful. This is really good. How to lead meaningful conversations, meaningful race conversations in the classroom. But it's not just about students. It's like in your faculty meetings and just within the school, like how to have those conversations about race. And so
yeah,
this
I
is
really
good one
like
too.
that one too because sometimes we don't know what to say. Like, are we saying the wrong thing? And you want to speak up. So that book could be very informative.
You
You know.
must. You must. You must.
Yes, we must speak up. But let me go. Let's get back. It's 7:30, guys. So I'm gonna introduce you to this beautiful queen right here. Our guest this evening is Dr. Lissa Collins. She
Hi,
exemplifies
y'all.
strength, integrity, and determination with her true passion. She has over 25 years in education, and she is a court-appointed advocate for children in foster care. She also earned 2 master's degrees and a doctoral degree in organizational leadership while raising 3 teenagers, as a single mother. Her doctoral research focused on the racial academic achievement gap, and we'll get deep into that, which we'll discuss today. So everybody, please give a warm welcome to Dr. Lissa Collins. And now, anybody have something to say in the comments? Because I'm going to start reading the comments as we go. April said, hi, ladies. Somebody said, what you cooking? No. And someone said, hey, girlie, hey. Okay, so guys, let's get into it. So welcome, Dr. Collins. That got a ring to it, girl. It's an absolute honor to have you with us today. Your journey and accomplishments are truly inspiring. So let's dive right in. You ready?
Well, thank you so much, and it's quite an honor to be here. I follow you, and I see all the great things that you're doing, all the advice and everything that you're giving people. So it's just a treat and a joy and a blessing to be here to connect with some of your audience members and some of my own. I hope that are in here. I can't see the comments, but y'all
I'll
keep them
read.
coming. Let's keep this thing lively, and I'm just so glad to be here. And so I'm gonna go ahead and let you get started with some of the questions that you may have for me. And I do want to say that I do have some notes here because I want to make sure that I get everything. So if you see me looking over here, I'm just kind of referring to my notes.
Okay. Okay. Let me see where we could get started in. Could you share some of your most rewarding experiences you had as a court-appointed advocate for children in foster care? Let's get started with foster care before we start with the racial, gaps
Well,
and everything.
if
Okay.
you look, so one of the things is like working with at-risk kids. I think that was one of the things that we wanted to talk about. So, um, okay. So first of all, it says when I was a little girl, like the question I think that we were talking about is like my dedication, to education and at-risk kids.
Mm-hmm.
How did that come about, and what sparked my passion for working with at-risk kids?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I remember back when I was a kid, I used to get all the kids, gather them all up during the summertime, and we play school. Like, who wants to play school? School is out, it's summertime. But I had a bedroom full of kids. They all showed up, and I was the teacher and I was the principal. They were like, "You can't do that. It's not fair." But that really sparked my interest working with kids.
Mm-hmm.
But although I didn't at the time, when I was, I guess, about fourth grade, what I wanted to do when I grew up was be one of the chorus girls on the Carol Barnett show. Hey, Keena, I see her. She's in here. So I wanted to be one of the chorus girls. And if you guys are as old as me, you would know what I'm talking about. So it's like the Vegas girls, the girls in Vegas with the big feathers and the nice little skirts and everything and the high heels. They were so fancy. I wanted to be one of those girls when I grew up. But God had other plans for me. And so he placed me in the classroom. And I knew from the start, like those smart kids didn't really need me. They were fine. And
Mm-hmm.
so I focused on the kids that were struggling. And when I saw that light bulb go off and I saw the pride on their faces, that just hooked me. And from that day forward, I knew that I was going to be working with at-risk kids.
I like that. So you knew from day, but I had to go back to you had to want to be the little feather ladies and the principal and the teacher.
I would practice. Girl, the big feathers in the head. Oh yes, they were fancy. They
Oh,
were fancy. I definitely wanted to do that.
and I can see that. That's what that little sassy Lisa come from. Yeah, yes, I can see that, but I can't get over the fact that you want to be the principal and the teacher. Now,
Yeah, they didn't
Dr.
think it was
Collins.
fair, but I say go to the office, and then when they get there, it's me sitting there. Wait a minute, you're the teacher. I'm the principal too. So, girl, that right there, I should have known that education was in my future, but I didn't. I really forget that. I wanted to be a chorus line girl.
Oh Lord, I love that. So can you share some of your most rewarding experience you had as a court-appointed advocate? But give me, why did you start? Why did you want to become a court advocate, appointed advocate for children that's in foster care? Because we
Okay,
do,
so
we forget about that. Kids, those
yeah,
babies in
so
foster care.
I also have a bachelor's degree in social work, so that's where it
Mhm.
all started.
Yeah.
So as part of the social work, when I was working on that degree, I heard about CASA. It's called CASA. It's a CASA volunteer, so you don't get paid for this position. Although we can fully like walk into an office and actually work for them because the training is so intense. And it's a lengthy training. It's and then you have to do ongoing training and stuff like that. You got to keep your hours up, just like an educator. But when I was working on my bachelor's degree many, many years ago, I think I was about 19, and I thought, wow, I want to do that too, because I know it was related to, at-risk kids or kids in foster care, and so I wanted to do that. And what CASA volunteers do is we advocate for the children because they're children, and so when they're separated from their families, their parents can't speak for them, and so we advocate for them, make sure that their needs are being met, their desires and wishes are being heard and listened to. So we advocate for them in that manner in the courts when they're having their court proceedings. And so I signed up for it when I was working on my bachelor's degree, but it was just too time consuming, and I know I needed to focus on my work, and so I wasn't able to do it at that time. But then now that I've gotten my doctorate degree and I got a little bit more time on my hands, about to retire, I'm like, man, I could do this full time. Even though I don't get paid, I could just do this. And so, I'm very passionate about that. And also, as you know, Angie, and some of my friends that are watching, my kids are adopted. They were part of the foster care system, all three of them. And so that's just another way for me to give back. And I guess my most rewarding as a volunteer
Uh-oh, did we lose
is
her?
recently I've helped a mom of 5. Her kids range from 12 years old to 6 months old. And she's a good mom. I spent a lot of time with her, and she's a good mom. She just got overwhelmed and depressed, and I get it. I have 3. And she's younger. And so we got some classes in place, and she did all the things she needed to do. I'm in there with in teacher mode with the kids on the floor. We're creating charts because the judge wanted to see structure. And so we created their little individual daily schedules. And so I got some things in place so that to help her be more successful. And the thing that is so, just makes it all worth it to me is that I kept 5 Black kids out of the foster care system. So
Yeah.
that was the most rewarding thing for me, being able to keep those kids out of the system.
I really like that, Dr. Collins, because sometimes we forget, like we really forget about those babies in foster care. And then there's be some men like us that look like us that need us, and they're forgotten. And then sometimes when they get in that education system, when they, the academics, I had some babies that when I was a teacher, their academics was not up to par. And I did some research, like, oh, they're in foster care, they're being from foster care to foster care. So I want people to be mindful, when you have some free time, just start getting back to the community, just a listening ear. So we'll speak on that later. But, because we could talk about a whole bunch of stuff, but you do have a question though.
Yeah.
So why do many Black leaders and teachers scared to speak up when they know the educational gap is intentional?
Why are they afraid to speak up?
When they know that Black leaders and teachers are afraid to speak up when they know that the gap is intentional. We speak on this sometimes.
You know what? Well, I don't know if the gap. Let me just say this. I don't think the gap is intentional. Let's go there. It's the gap is not intentional, but the racial inequities that our kids suffer. Now, we can kind of say that that's intentional because this gap in academic achievement between Blacks and whites. We'll talk about why that really may not exist, but that's the propaganda we've been fed for over almost 60 years. When I was doing my research, that's when it started, about 60 years ago, actually 56 years ago, and it's been prevalent ever since. So the reason that's why I say maybe it is intentional, because you mean to tell me we can get a man to the moon, but we can't close this academic achievement gap? So I won't say that it's intentional, but it seems like it possibly could be. But the reason that African American teachers and leaders don't speak up is the same reason that our kids are failing in our schools. The system is against them, just like it is our kids. A lot of times they're in there because of a status quo. And I have this conversation all the time, like, shame on us educators, us Black educators that are not standing up and doing for our kids, because if we don't, who will? And I leave them to ponder that, because who's going to work with our kids if we don't? So it's kind of that fear thing, and of course it's individual per person, but that has a lot to do with it. The system is against our kids, and it's against our leaders too. And kind of that crowd mentality. They happen to be where they are. They got those positions of leadership and don't want to jeopardize it. So unfortunately, unlike myself, some people just, won't speak up or won't create any ways because they feel, I don't want to lose this position that I have. And oftentimes you won't. They just won't speak up and take that chance.
Because of fear or what could happen. Yes. Anybody else? I'm gonna check the questions. Okay, this got hearts and people saying awesome. This is truly awesome.
Oh,
Okay.
great.
Yes. So let's talk about you again. So balancing a professional career in education, pursuing higher education, and raising 3 teenagers as a single mom is not a small task. It's not.
At all.
How did you manage to juggle all of these responsibilities, especially with the added challenges that Black people face, Black families face today?
Okay. Well, the simple answer, Angie, is a hope and a prayer.
Okay,
That's
I
the
have
simple
one, and I
answer.
know.
That's the simple answer. But seriously, my kids were a big part of my success. They were preteens at the time, so I think maybe like between 13, 15, ish in that area. And I remember we had a little meeting like, y'all, mama need to study. I would study it started out, I would study late at night. I'd take care of my family, get them to bed, and then I'm up to 2, 3 o'clock in the morning working on my assignments. And I just couldn't do that all the time. And so we had a little family meeting, and I told them, you guys, how can you step up? What can you do? And they agreed to like do the cooking, the cleaning,
Okay.
washing their own clothes so that I could study. And so along with that, because I was this mama bear, so that, it was big for me to give those responsibilities up, even though I know I needed to. And but I also I prioritized my assignments and things that I had going on with work and other obligations. I prioritized it, and I also created a weekly schedule.
Okay.
I only had like 2 days off during the week, really one day. Sunday was always off the table, but I would pick a different day each week that I would be off, so that I could, tend to my family or do other things, so I created a weekly schedule like every week to get that done. And I think the only challenge that I didn't master is dating. So like those 3 years that I tried. I'm gonna tell you, I tried, and this is something for these fellas out here that want to date a woman that's getting her groove on. Uh, I remember two guys in particular. Every time, and I met them on like a social media thing because I, working and not getting out. But when it came time to them wanting to spend time with me, I'm always like, oh, I'm working on my dissertation, or oh, I'm doing this research, and so they, oh, every time I call you, you're doing this, you're always working on that paper, or you're studying or something. Girl, I didn't need the extra drama, so I was like, I hit them with a boy bye, and I kept on studying. So,
Yeah,
and it paid off.
it
I
is.
don't know where that joker would be now, but I got a doctorate.
Okay.
I don't know.
You
I
got to
don't
say
know
it
where
again.
he
You got
would
to
be.
what?
Yeah, yeah. So it wasn't worth the sacrifice. I got what I got now. If he want to come on back and holler at me, I got a little time for him now.
And we talking about our same friend. Girl, he knew he
And
made
so,
me mad.
look, anybody out there that, I'm a single woman, empty nester. And so, you got an educated woman here. I got the time, a little bit of time.
But you got to
You
come
got to
with your
play
business.
golf. You got to like
Yeah.
poetry. Oh, and you got to fish. I'm a country girl.
I was waiting for that. Or at least know how to cook the fish. Okay.
But yeah. I'll catch them.
Good.
You cook them. You clean them and cook them. I'll catch them.
Ooh. Okay, that's great. Okay, that's Keena. Let's get some comments. So Keena said that's
Hey,
awesome.
Keena.
Hey, Miss
If,
Smith. We can't wait for your
if Buster,
birthday
if you there,
party.
put a hi in there. If Buster Holly, if you there, you better say hi. I don't know if you made it home. He was traveling, so I don't know. I told him to drive safely, but to try to catch this. Virginia, if you're there, I know you're on your way to church today, but if you're there, put a hi in the comments so I can know that you're here and supporting me. Anybody else that's there, thank you for joining, and I hope you enjoy. Be ready to ask some, you can ask some comments, or we'll get you to chime in as well a little bit later on.
And Keena also said that's great. The kids helped pitch in. So she said that's great. That she let the kids pitch.
They were wonderful.
So what are some suggestions that you could give single mothers that's going through a lot of, like, probably have a business or working full time, trying to go to school or wanting to go back to school, but like, I don't have the time, I'm working, I'm teaching, sometimes you teach it for all over to evening time.
Yeah.
But what kind of encouragement can you give those single mothers that really want to go back to school and get their master's or maybe get their doctoral degree?
I'm going to use this phrase, and hopefully they don't sue me, but just do it. We got all the excuses. I know Nike going to be like, don't use my phrase, but just do it. Seriously, though, we have all the excuses in the world of why we can't do something, won't do something, why it won't work out. But just do it. And you don't have to do it all at one time. You can take baby steps, because I'm going to tell you something. I don't even know how many years I've been going to school. I've been going to school forever, but guess what? I would have some of my old friends, ex-friends, but they would tell, whenever I run into them, it's like 10 years I'm still working on like the second master's degree or something like that. And they would, the first thing, girl, you still in school? And I'm like, yeah. But it's like, it wasn't like something positive. It was more like ooh, you still in school? Like, oh, you wasting your time. And okay, here's, Sassy Lisa be like, are you still working as a customer service rep? Not that anything's wrong with it, but you try to, yeah, I am, but look at me now, so,
Mm-hmm.
just do it. Take baby steps and don't let
Mm-hmm.
anybody talk you out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And as far as your family, the kids they're very resilient and they want you to do well. And so my kids were very supportive, and I know that your kids will be too. But the main thing is just do it. Don't let anything hold you back. None of your dreams, nobody, whatever it is. You may not want to get a doctorate. You may want to start a business. You may want to, whatever it is, write a book, whatever it is that you want to do, just do it. Take baby steps and eventually you'll get there because guess what? As long as you keep living, you have an opportunity to keep doing whatever it is you want to do.
I agree. I love it. I love it. So what motivated you to get your PhD? Why did you want to go back to school and get your PhD? Oh, I think she's frozen.
Oh, I thought you were.
Oh, look,
It
you were
was
like
you.
this.
Oh,
So what motivated you to go back and get your PhD?
you ready? You got the next question?
Oh, can you hear me?
I can now.
Okay. So what motivated you? We know you have these degrees. What motivated you? Because some people want to get their PhD right now. And it's like, I don't feel like going back. But what motivated Lissa Collins to become Dr. Lissa Collins?
Ever since I was a little girl, I've always loved learning. Education was always important to me. I cried when I didn't get an A in class. That's just who
Yeah.
that's just who I am inside. I didn't, it's just the way God made me, I guess. But I really love learning, and because of that, a PhD, a doctorate degree is the highest level of education you can get. So I didn't know what it was at the time as a child, but as I got to know what it was, I knew that I had to get it somehow, some way, and at whatever time. I was gonna on my tombstone, it was gonna be Dr. Lisa. I was gonna have that on my tombstone because I knew as long as I kept living, that I was gonna keep working towards that because that was just something that I always wanted to do.
So you was going for your goal and you reached the goal. I like it. Are we frozen again? Okay, are we not frozen? Okay. So for those people who want to get their PhD, what was your biggest challenge? What was the biggest challenge that you
Oh, the
faced?
biggest challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Time constraint, making the time for it. I literally, I told you I couldn't date. That you, yeah, it's like that's the kind of commitment you have to put with it. It's just a time commitment. Even with, some people may like, well, I'm married. Yeah, trust me, you guys better have a serious conversation because the time that you need to put into doing your research and getting that doctorate, it's going to take away from your family. There's just no way around it. And so you're going to have a strong or a real conversation and, and just really be there to support each other, check in along the way. That's probably the biggest challenge is that time constraint and what it does with your family. I'm gonna tell you another challenge or another. I don't know if it's a challenge, but it was something that I didn't know at first what was going on, and then I realized it because after getting 2 master's degrees, you work with groups. Everybody's working on the same assignment. You turn it in differently. You may not always work together, but you're working toward. The assignments are the same. When you work on your doctorate and you research the research topic, whatever it is that you're going to research and write your dissertation on. That's a unique project. Like nobody else is writing their dissertation on the same exact topic that you are, and you'll probably not find people that have a topic that's even related to yours. Not that it matters, because you're in that boat alone. And so the isolation that comes with it is another challenge if you're not, prepared for that. That was one of the things I realized. I had this feeling of lonely, like what's going on, and that's once you start getting into your research and start fine tuning it and organizing your data, all that stuff you're doing on your own. You can't ask anybody for help, and they probably don't have time to help you. The other students that are in this process, so it's just a lot of work on your own, and that was something that I never realized before with the other 2 degrees.
So now we understand who Dr. Collins are. Let's get to the nitty gritty. So I noticed that you wrote your dissertation on the racial academic achievement gap among students. So we're about to get into this topic, y'all. So what made you write your paper on that? And then we're gonna go move it forward to this. Uh-oh, there.
Oh, the about the academic achievement gap. So yeah, so I was always, as an educator, as a teacher, because I was a teacher for a while, a full, working full time as an educator before I even went back to school and got my doctorate. And you hear, not only did I hear about, white kids, outperforming African American kids in reading and math, I actually saw it, but I saw it more so with Hispanic students when the district introduced bilingual education. So everybody's making these, excelling in education except our kids. And so I was always, uh, I'll say intrigued, but actually pissed off about that. Kind of pissed off about that because I'm like, what is going on? Why are kids not getting the help that they need? And
Exactly.
so I started looking around in Dallas ISD, and I'm like, okay, this is a large urban school district, but I don't see any white kids. So where are they getting this data? Not just Dallas, but if it's happening in Dallas ISD, a large urban school district, it's probably happening in Houston ISD, San Antonio ISD, all these other large urban school districts. So if there are no white kids in our schools, where is it? Is this data really accurate? Like, where is it coming from? And so I started looking at, so I had a different spin on it because if there's no white kids, we still got to look at this. So I looked at comparing white kids and black kids as comparing apples to oranges because there's too many variables that separate them. So what I decided to do with my research was to compare apples and apples. So what I did is I looked at African American students that attended schools in a suburban school district, and for my research, it was Plano ISD. And I compared their scores with African American students attending schools in an urban school district, which was Dallas ISD. So
Okay.
the only thing that was different was the school district. I looked at third grade students because that was their first year taking the STAR test. And that's the data that I used to come up with my conclusion. So I used third grade students and I looked at data from 2018 because that was prior to COVID. So there was no, nothing to interfere with their educational progress. After COVID, everybody took a dive. And so I wanted to have some, data that was not, that was not, skewed. I wanted, a fresh start. So I pulled data from the Texas Education Agency, and what I found, and I looked at about, I believe it was 17 schools in in Plano ISD and 19 schools in Dallas. And when I ran their test scores and did all that through the statistical tool, it showed that the African American kids in Plano ISD, um, their reading and math scores was there was a significant statistically higher number or percentage of students that passed than the ones in the urban school district. And these are all black kids. So to me, it just kind of took away that racial aspect. It's not racial, y'all. It's what's going on in our school districts.
Mm. Mm.
And, and
And
another thing is that
that's,
it's
and you
it's
would
it's
think that because they have it in our mind that it's the black kids that's not performing at this level.
yeah,
Is like you said.
it's not because we have black kids in both school districts. So
Uh-huh.
you're looking at the same kids, apples, and I'm not comparing the kids in the suburban school district collectively and statistically scored higher than the ones that were in urban school in the Dallas ISD school district. And I want to say that prior to me doing this research, you have to like see what's out there. So I Googled and searched the school library like for any data, anything at all that looked at this racial gap in that manner. Like, are we? What about check this out, white kids and Asians? Why is there nothing on that? Because they, Asian kids, they're gonna be, so nobody's putting that out there. It's part political and it's part of the system to keep us thinking that we're not as educated. They keep us in that, we're not slaves anymore, but that slave mentality, like I'm not good enough. And unfortunately, there was a research that was done, and it was about like talk about because poverty is one of the variables that affect how kids learn, not how they learn, but their access. If you don't have the resources, you're not going to have access to a lot of things. So there's it says that kids with books, if you grow up with books in the home, you're going to be, perform better than those who don't have those books at home. Well, there's a research, and this was probably about 4 years ago, so I can't remember the author, but it was a research done, and it said that the poorest white kid still outperformed the richest black kid. Now, this is data, like really, really. And so I presented that to my son, and I was like, what do you think of this, son? And he, you know what he did? And this is why they put that stuff out there. I said, I told him exactly that. I said, this research shows that the poorest white kid outperforms the richest black kid. And I said, what does that mean for you? And he looked and he said, well, dang, Mom, he said, and I think Trayvon, he was 12 at the time. He said, man, he said, if that's what it says in this research, in this journal article, this research, he said, maybe, I guess that's true, that we're just not smart as them. And I said,
that's right there,
absolutely
Dr.
false.
I want everybody to put a comment who's watching. Why do you think they put that out there? Because we know it's not true, but why do you think they put that kind of data out there? So make a comment, please. Because I want to think what you guys think.
Yeah.
So continue on. I'm gonna read the comments as they go on. But why do y'all think so? Why do you think they put that kind of data out there? So don't believe all the data that's out there.
It's the same reason why they show criminals black. They hone in on the black criminals in the news. They you'll hear them say a black guy, blah blah blah. But when it's a white guy, they just said a man in his 20s or something like that. They don't never say the race. So if you're not even looking at, we go get a snack on a commercial break. And so we go get our little snack or something, we're not looking at the TV, but they let us hear that it's a black guy that did this crime, So it's, So
To
what are they saying? I see some
us.
comments coming in.
Yes.
Because it's interesting.
It's very
That's why you don't believe all the hype.
It's sad, but we got to learn how to, it is so sad.
It is sad, Keena.
Yeah, it is very
That's why
sad.
we have to talk to our kids. Yeah, we have to talk to our kids and explain. Tell them they're smart. Give them those positive accolades. Who is this?
Okay, April said because they know we are naturally intelligent and fear us. That's it. They fear us. They put out the data out there to put in our
the black
minds
community
and attempt to make us believe this. So they try to
absolutely.
Yes, and Melanie Jenkins can say it's about controlling the black community. Because when we see this data, like you said, we really gonna think, oh, this is what they have in black and white. This is must be the truth. This is data.
Keeping
and we
us
really
in a
start
box.
thinking that.
Yep. Keeping us in a mental block, Keena.
Keeping us in a mental box.
Absolutely. And so, and let me just say this one.
Yeah,
let me just say this one comment. Yeah, one of my professors, when he read my my paper, he said that, like, wow, he said, I've never seen this kind of research. Nobody compared black kids in in the two different settings. He said that, he's never seen that. And he said, Dr. Collins, he was already calling me Dr. Collins. I was still in class. He said, Dr. Collins, he said, I tell you, he said, your paper it lends itself to a national debate. That's what he told me. And all I could think of was, dang, where is the Oprah Winfrey show when I need it?
Exactly.
But because that's a conversation we need to have. We haven't had that conversation.
For Project 2025 is the little politics for here. I'm just going to throw this out for a little bit and then we'll reel it back in. I know that they are trying to rid of tier 1 schools. And tier 1 school have predominantly us. So why do you think that? Why do you think that that's in Project 2025?
I heard the tier 1 schools, but what was the other part? You kind of cut out a little bit.
I'm sorry. Why do you think they are targeting tier 1 schools? If the Project 2025 is, all that kind of stuff.
Where they're targeting
tier why
1 schools?
I think that, this is no more. I don't know how true that is. It's political, but I have read that in Project 2025 that tier 1 schools will be no more. And, that's why I say get out there and vote, y'all. Get out there and vote. But so why do you think they're targeting if they are?
Okay. Well, I can say this about Dallas and several other school districts in Texas. I don't think they're targeting. Well, in Dallas they're not, because we just purchased a tier 1 curriculum for reading. It's called Amplify, and so it's catered for. It's designed to. It's a tier one curriculum, so they're not running from it; they're pushing toward it. And what it does is it's really advanced. And so what they're trying to do is they still haven't closed the academic gap, and it's not a racial gap because all kids failed after COVID. I mean, it was a pandemic, and so they're trying to. Tier one is at a higher level, and so they're trying to teach kids at a high level, hoping to close that gap. And you can't do that. Instead of tier one instruction, I believe, from my experience in the classroom for over 20 some years, accelerated instruction is the better way to go because it's accelerated, but it's not like up here and the kids are down here and they can't get there. Accelerated is going to get them there faster because it has those supports built in along the way. And so tier one, I don't know if they're running from it, but some schools or some school districts are advocating for it. They purchase curriculums that are tier one curriculums. They're trying to push these kids like they're teaching them at a high level, hoping that they can rise to the occasion. Some of them will, very few of them will, and our data shows that. But rather than doing that, an accelerated program would probably be best.
Yeah, I agree with that because, me being in education for over 20 years,
Right.
and I have taught kids that look like us all the time. That's the most of my career. And I know like they had Achieve 3000. Remember Achieve 3000? And the kids would be like this because they they're trying to push them here.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
And you
okay,
can't.
you can.
That's
You
just
got to
like
start
trying to
them.
make a kid run faster. What you gonna do?
Yeah.
You push them from the back, but
Yeah.
it
Yeah,
doesn't
like
work.
you
You
may
have
get
to
one or two kids
be
that
gentle.
could really do that, but then navigate through that little system. But the other kids, it's like this, it's lost because they're trying to push it and make them hear. So it's all back. But we're gonna keep moving. We'll keep moving because we could go on and on and on. Anybody have any comments, questions, so we can move on? Don't forget to ask your
I don't know.
comments.
I missed it, Angie. What you
Oh,
said?
you did. I'm looking for any
Yeah,
comments or
but
questions you have for Dr.
uh-huh.
Collins. Okay. So we'll keep moving forward.
Okay. So hang on, Angie. Before we go any further, dun, 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 time for a prize.
Yeah, time for a
Let's
prize.
keep you engaged. Keep them here. So let me explain what this is, guys. I want to ask them how many of them have heard of Dr. Stephen Perry, and they can just put a thumbs up in the chat or put a Y in the chat to say yeah. Do we have anybody that heard of Dr. Stephen Perry?
I don't think you have
Anybody?
anybody.
Y'all must have been sleeping on the rug.
Nope, nobody
Stephen
heard
Perry.
of him.
Okay, well, if you don't know about him, you will. Anybody? Really?
See, she said no. No, everybody said
Oh
no.
my gosh. Well, you know what? I'm going to introduce you. Look, now I'm having some trepidation about giving away this. Look, guys, you need to Google Dr. Stephen Perry. Uh, he was a principal of a school, of all boys school, and every last one of his boys, I think he was a principal like 4 years. Every 100% of those African American boys graduated and went to college. Not a junior college. They went to prestigious universities. All of them, 100%. And so he no longer does the school thing. He's reaching more people, and so he's left that position, but he's doing other things. He's still in education, and he came to Dallas, and this is where I met him probably about 6-7 years ago. And I took my oldest son because, like I said, he had a school for boys, and they were all successful. And so I took my son, and he actually autographed a copy for me and my son, separate copies. And so this is really near and dear to me, and I'm kind of like, y'all don't know who he is. I don't know if I want to give this book, but
No,
I committed to doing so. But he autographed it for me. This is his autograph, and it says he and I had a conversation at his event about me being in education and the things that I do for at-risk kids. And so what he wrote in this book is, Lissa, you inspire me. And so, this means a lot, but it means a lot to me as I prepare to retire. I want to pass this on to someone who can use this like I used it. And you guys, read up on it, Google him, and know what gift you're really getting. There you
And
go,
I
Dr.
just put
Stephen
it in
Perry.
the
Thank you,
chat.
Angie. Thank you. Y'all look this man up. He's awesome, and he's very personable. We sat and chat like all we needed was a cup of tea. That's how friendly he was, and very, humble. He's a great man. He's very humble, and So anyway, I want to gift this book, but like I said, you have to earn it. And so what I want you guys to do is get ready to type your answer into the chat box. Okay? I'm gonna give you a question, and Angie, how do you? Okay, so do we want the first person to put it in the chat to get it, or do you want to take the top 5 and pick one from there? How do you want to do this?
The
I don't know
first
how many
person.
people are here, and I want to kind of be a little fair.
The first person, and then we'll talk a little bit more, and then another gift. So the first person.
Yeah, the other one goes later on, but I just wanted to say, okay, so this is for the book by Dr. Stephen Perry called Push Has Come to Shove. It says, getting our kids the education they deserve, even if it means picking a fight. And so those teachers and principals out there that, don't want to do anything, hey, go ahead and pick that fight, because that's how we're going to get the job done. Think if our ancestors hadn't pushed a fight and risked their lives, where would we be today? So somebody got to sacrifice, and we can't let the kids be the sacrifice. We have to be the sacrifice. Okay, so hopefully this book will inspire you guys to speak up and be sassy and do what you need to do to get our kids a quality education. Okay, all right, so here's the question. Get ready. When I was a little girl, what did I want it to be when I grew up? What did I want to be when I grew up as a little girl? Put it in the chat box.
I'm waiting. A showgirl. That's the first. Somebody said chorus line girl, and then you have a showgirl. What's a chorus line girl? What's
What do we
that?
have? I want you to
Okay,
be
somebody said
specific.
a chorus line girl, and somebody else said showgirl after that.
Okay, that's good enough. It was for the Carol Barnett show. Not just any girl, but that's cool. Is that April Guillory with the first answer?
Yes, April. Yes.
Kina, you was a close second. All right, so Guillory, Miss Guillory, we're gonna get your information, and I will send you this book. Read it. It's lovely, and it'll help you hopefully advocate for our Black kiddos. Okay.
Oh, she
All right,
will.
we can talk
So
about the racial
April,
gap,
just
and then I'll
reach
have
out
another
to
gift for you
her.
guys later on. There, yeah, on the Carol Burnett show. Yeah, you got it, April. All
Yes,
right.
I love it. So April, just reach out to Dr. Collins, and she will send you your book. Okay. We got. Kina said, "Congrats." I'm coming,
Oh,
Kina.
thanks, Kina.
I love it. So, what are your hopes for the future of education for Black kids, for Black students? And before we get
So,
that, you know what? I want to ask you a question.
uh-huh.
Why do you think Dallas Independent School District versus Plano ISD had that gap? Why? Was it the curriculum is better or more supplemental were available? What?
Okay, so there are some school factors because, like I said, we looked at Black kids in both school districts, inner city and suburban. And I'm gonna just say this: I was a single mom in the suburbs. We lived in Frisco ISD, and so I had many of the similar things that a single mom in an urban school district face. Just being a single mom. But it was the school system. My kids excelled. I can tell you, my oldest son, when he was in 4th grade, he was reading at a 7th grade level. And it wasn't anything I was doing because I was too busy working. So it was a school that helped him to achieve that. My other kids did well also, but that was, he really excelled. And so some school factors would include, and you guys, can chime in if you know any or are experiencing with your kiddos, but like an inadequate curriculum that doesn't address the unique needs of African American students, untrained teachers, teachers who either are not trained or inexperienced and haven't had any experience teaching African American kids. Um, you may have teachers also they wouldn't deliver the content effectively, And so that could affect our kids. And then here's another one that, you know, you may think is, you know, you've heard, you guys, how many of you heard people say just in general that they don't see color?
Oh, I hate that.
How many have seen that? You can put yes or something in the chat. Well, let me just say this. When a teacher doesn't see color, they don't do the black kids any justice, because black kids have a unique need academically and social. And if they don't see color, that means that they're not addressing the kids' specific needs. So they need to see color. I demand that they see color when I'm working with my teachers, because thank you guys, Kay Tyler and April. Yeah, they should see color. And if you have kids in the school system, no matter what school district they're in, African American, you let them teachers, they can let them know, hey, I'm African American. I have some needs here. You're not meeting my needs. You know, they need to advocate for themselves as well. And so those are just a few of the school factors that are affecting our kids.
I totally agree, because two slogans that I hate the most in my life is one, I hate when people say we're not our ancestors. I hate
Yeah,
that. And then I
we
hate when,
are.
yeah, and let me tell you, so guess if we not, they were the one was courageous. They were the backbones. It was because of them and what they had to endure. We may not be able to handle what they had to handle. So I
Oh,
hate when
yeah,
people say that.
we can't. Yeah,
You
we
know,
softies. We
that's where
softies
the
now.
strength was. That's where the
Yeah,
real strength was, our ancestors. And so when people say, oh, shoot, I ain't about to deal with that, we ain't our ancestors,
and that's the problem.
that's the problem. Exactly. So I
Mhm.
hate that. And another slogan I hate is, I don't see color. And I have to stop people because of the fact, even when I was dating and they were like, oh, I don't see color. Like, that's a good thing. Or I
Yeah,
know some friends or teachers, so when I was in education, I don't see color. I'm like, but I'm a person of color. I'm looking
yeah.
at me, I'm looking like, you don't
You know
see
what?
me?
Put the mirror in their face. Do you see color now?
Yes. And so I always didn't like it. And people used to, you know, I wasn't trying to be confrontational, but everybody know I have a voice. And then that's the HBCU coming out of me again, you know. But I am a person. Hey, GSU. Don't start. And, oh yeah, and Lisa is an HBCU graduate too, y'all.
Yes, Prairie View. Yes.
Okay, Grambling State University. Y'all not let her say
Yeah,
it
go on and shout
last.
it out. Go on and shout it out. Hey,
But you know,
you know what I want to know? When did Texas A&M Commerce become a HBCU? That's all you see on campus. I didn't know that, but anyway, that's another conversation.
I know, right? We go on and on with that.
I was
But
shocked. I didn't know. But
wait,
anyway,
hold on. You for
it's
real?
not
Real?
officially. It's not officially,
Oh,
but there's like so many African American students there. It's like but it's been going on for years. I didn't know that. I've always heard good things about the school. I just didn't know that it was
yeah, I heard good things.
predominantly African American students there. My
I
daughter
didn't know
goes
that.
there, so that's how I found out. So
But it's still not an HBCU. But I'm
it's
glad.
not officially, but yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
close to
no.
home, I guess.
Yeah, you know, because you know, HBCUs is where we could have win, but
Exactly.
you know, that's that. But
Yeah.
anyway, you know, don't start that black stuff, girl. But I did not like the slogan. I still don't like the slogan, you know, we don't see color, because I am a
Yeah.
woman of color. And I need you
And
to
as an
see me.
educator, that's
Yes,
the
those
problem. They
needs.
need to see color because of the unique needs that our students have.
Mhm.
So if you see color, then you can address those needs.
Exactly. Exactly. And it's not the needs that we're more special or we're lacking of, but we do have unique needs. You can't have a conversation with a black student. Oh my God, I wish Hillary was on here. I remember, I'll tell you a quick story about me. It's not about me right now. But oh God, it was about 16, 17 years ago. I was a first grade teacher, and her name was Miss K. Oh goodness, but she was white, and I was at a predominant black school. I was in a South Dallas. Okay, go figure. And
Okay.
so they may have one or two Caucasian teachers, and everybody else is black. They didn't have bilingual classes because everybody was black. But I don't know how. I think she was, when they used to do that leveling, she was already forced there.
Right.
So so she was there. She was there in kindergarten, but then the next year she's first grade teacher, and they allowed to put me as a, or you know, her team person. She taught math and science. I taught her reading, whatever, in social studies. So anyway, that was the year Obama was going for presidency.
Okay.
And she would talk to our kids, and I stayed in the office. I ain't gonna lie, I stayed in the principal office, y'all. I'm not gonna lie, I stayed Miss Crab because I would tell her something, she'd go crying. You go cry because you teach our kids, and don't you tell our kids he's a what she used to call him, a Jew. And she'll say, "Why you be doing that, girl?" Like when she reprimand the kids, they may not say that to other teachers, but I'm gonna say something. Why are you talking to him like that? Or why are you talking to her like that? Why you be doing that? That's not how you identify with a black student.
Yeah.
We're not gonna do that now.
Yeah.
You know. And so I had to let her know we're not gonna do that. You talk
Yeah.
to her correctly.
Educating them. Yeah.
Yeah. And come on here, girl. I'm like, I had to pull us aside. I know they black. I know we in South Dallas. I said, but I need you to not talk to my students, because that was hers too. And she knows she called the principal on me, which I didn't care. And so, like that, do not speak. So when we're saying, see color, that is
Can't
not what
hear
we're
you.
saying.
There we go.
Oh, that is not what we're saying. Speak to them as they don't broken English, or speak to them as, degrading. I had to get on her, and then she was like, Obama not gonna win, Obama this. I said, baby, leave politics out of it.
Yeah.
Leave politics out of it, girl. And I'm like, I used to look at her like, didn't you just get off of food stamps? If this other man win, it ain't gonna have no more. And I had to tell her that, and I got in trouble again. And so, but it wasn't a good match that year. That was one of the challenging years. I love my students. Matter of fact, I talked to one of my students. She's going to Howard University, who was in my class. I talked to her mom just the other day. She actually does, she's on the campaign, with President Harris, soon to be. But she used to laugh, and we was talking about that woman, Miss K, because she used to stay in the office to the parents. So we're not saying, talk to our kids like that.
Yeah.
That's not what we're saying. We're not saying,
But
talk to them like.
let me, I'm gonna keep it real. We need to stop talking to our kids like that ourselves. So
We do.
So let's just keep it moving, because we got to clean ourselves up first before we can
Yes.
expect anybody else to do us right. Because I remember being at Clyde Warren Park one evening, and the guy was doing an interview, was interviewing different people, and he came up and asked me if he could ask me a question. He said, "What do I have to say about Black Lives Matter?" And I was like, "Well, I say Black lives won't matter to them until Black lives start mattering to us." So on that note, we can keep it moving, because that's a whole nother Facebook Live conversation.
Oh, okay.
But we have to do better, and I'm not afraid to tell us that we need to do better. That's why I told all the specialists and teachers and principals, all the African American, education leaders and workers. I said, if shame on us for not doing, and I say us because I put myself, even though I know that I'm advocating for them, but I put myself in there too. And I tell them, shame on us for not advocating and doing what we need to do for our kids. Because if we don't do it, who will?
Exactly.
Who will?
And
And
exactly.
so yeah.
Yeah, we could go on and on about that. It's getting a lot of people joining now. I guess it's getting real good. Yeah. So yeah. Good Lord, I could go on and on about that. But yeah, Miss Kate met her match that year. But I could go on about that too. I stayed in trouble in the principal's office, but that's fine. So what are your hopes for the future of education for Black students?
And so basically my hope is simply that our Black students are given the opportunity to obtain a quality education and an equitable education. And for you guys that, there's a difference between an equality and equity. So equality would be that every kid in the classroom got the same assignment, or I'm not trying to talk about accommodations or things like that, but let's just say they all got okay. Let's go back to I'm trying to make it clear so they can. So let's say those fat pencils that the little kids get, and so everybody got a fat pencil. But one kid had a little bitty hand, and that pencil didn't do good for them. And so equal would be giving everybody that same little fat pencil, and they have to try to use it no matter what. Equity is giving them the pencil size that they need that's adequate for their little hands. And so maybe some of them needed that big fat pencil, but then these two kids needed the little skinny pencil. They were fine with that. And so that's equity, giving the kid what they need and not just necessarily giving them all the same thing. Okay. And so with that being said, our kids need a quality and equitable education, because if they don't get that, then it's going to negatively affect the rest of their lives. You know, if you don't get a good education, then it's going to affect the rest of your life. And so that's my hope for the future, is that all of our kids are able to get a quality and equitable education so that their future will not be negatively impacted.
I agree. Anybody have comments? Anybody want to chime in or say something? This is your time.
We're
Okay.
about to wrap it up. I got one more gift and one more thing I want to pose to the viewers.
So parental involvement in learning style is imperative.
It is.
Yeah, it is. Yes, yes. You're dropping jewels this evening. Amen. Okay, they're agreeing. Thank you, guys. Anybody want to say something to Dr. Collins or ask her a question? It's open. It's open. I mean, we're not holding nothing back. We're being real. So
But
if you guys,
let me say this. This is one thing that what does that say? Yes, it will. I am heartbroken by the number of our babies that's a stay. Yeah. I have a task for you later. And so we're going to get into that. I do want to say, while they're collecting their thoughts, one of the things that also affect our kids, which I didn't talk about, is disciplinary actions at school. And it's sort of like, with the large number of African Americans in jail, it's similar in school. A lot of the more of our kids are suspended or have disciplinary actions taken against them. And when students are subjected to that, they feel neglected, like they're not a part of the school. They get sent home, and so they feel neglected. They have a poor sense of belonging. Not in You're not learning, and so that's another thing that affects our kids. And yeah, it is kind of tied to race, because our kids are disciplined and have more severe consequences than their white counterparts. So even though it's not directly racial, but it has racial undertones, just like the number of Black guys that are in prisons today. That reset center is not working. Yeah, a lot of things are not. So we need to take action, y'all. Which let me can I give away this other gift real quick?
yes,
And then I have something for them, because I know it's about time to wrap it up. We've been on here
yes.
about an hour. So let me see. Okay, and I'm gonna let you come up with a question or something that they can respond to. But what you guys are getting now is this book is by Robert Jackson. And for you guys that wasn't here earlier, it's also an autographed copy. I'm giving you guys some real jewels here. These are books that I've cherished, books that I've read, and but I want you to have them, and I hope that it inspires you. And so this is our next giveaway. It's a book by Robert Jackson, and it's called "Becoming the Educator That They Need." So if you're interested in becoming an educator or just want to use this with your kids at home, this is what's up for grabs. And so, Angie, you decide how we're going to give this one away.
Wow.
I'm
Okay.
gonna take it to the host. The hostess
Really?
with the mostest.
Okay.
You decide.
So, and even if you're not an educator,
Yeah,
you may not have kids.
yeah,
Your
you
kids may
can.
be grown. You may have nieces and nephews that you could give their parent, or you could read to see, how we could all, as a community, help our Black kids and just
Yeah.
kids in general. So come on with it. So, based on Dr. Collins, her vibration, what do you think her zodiac sign is?
Ooh, that's a good one.
What do you think her zodiac sign is? Put it in a comment.
Type it in the chat. Tell me what they are as they come in, and I'll
I
let you
got
know the first one that got it right. What is my zodiac sign?
They're trying to guess. Someone said Taurus.
Who said that?
Keena.
Keena, you got it.
You know she gonna know. No,
Keena
she.
won. Yay, Keena.
So
Yeah, I'm
Keena, you
sorry.
got the
Y'all don't see
next
no horns
book.
sticking out.
Congratulations, Keena.
Y'all look, Angie. Y'all don't see those horns sticking out.
Yes,
Congratulations, Keena. I'll
congratulations.
get this to you.
Kate's hard to say it.
Signed by
Aquarius.
Robert Jackson. Got an autographed copy. Congratulations.
Yes. She said, yay me. So ladies, April and Keena, just contact Lisa so she'll send it directly to you. Okay. So make sure you reach out to Lisa on here or in text message
Sorry,
or via
Kay.
Facebook.
I'm a Taurus.
How you
Okay.
doing,
So
man?
Angie,
Yeah, so we're about to wrap it up,
I
guys. And if
know.
you have some,
Yeah, there's a. I just want to read this statement
oh,
as we wrap it up. And then I have something for your viewers. I want to task them with something because you know we can't do this work alone. I definitely can't, but I'm doing as much as I can. But I have a task for them as well. But
okay.
we're not quite done, Keena. So hang in there. Thank you for the compliment.
And I have two
But I
more
want to read this
questions.
statement.
Before you reach a statement, I do have a
Uh huh.
question. How can students, Black students, have a voice? How can we encourage Black students to have a voice? Because sometimes they're afraid and they don't want to say anything.
Well, the first thing is have those conversations with your kids at home where they are in a comfortable space, and that gives them the courage and the motivation to speak. And so like the conversation I had with my son, you know. And so have that conversation and just start at home, and then they'll build their confidence up, and then they'll be able to have those conversations at school. What you need to teach your kids is that they need to learn to advocate for themselves because you're not going to always be there and nobody's going to, advocate for them. A lot of people in this country don't care if we excel or not. And so they have to learn to advocate for themselves. So it starts out with a conversation that you have at home with your kids, and then it goes from there.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for sharing knowledge. Great discussion. And my last and final question, and I'll let you take it on home. My thing is, what actions can viewers, we as a community, we as a Black community, we just as a whole, take to support Black students and work towards educational equality?
Okay, so I'm gonna pause on that, and I want to read this statement, then we're gonna address that question at the
Okay.
end. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So this statement that I want to read to you guys is something that I ran across as I was, pondering what I was going to talk about here, and what makes the biggest impact with our students in the classroom, with our Black students in the classroom, and basically, who's in the classroom with these kids? The superintendent? Mm-mm. Is the principal in there? Barely. And so, who's in the classroom? Teachers are. Okay, and so when I read this, it resonated with me because teachers are the ones that's in the trenches. And if the teachers aren't doing it right, then it's not going to be right. And so I want to read this and I want you guys to think about this. And then I'm going to have something for you at the end I want you to respond to. So it says, in order for school systems to effectively educate Black boys and girls, they should provide a rich, balanced, sustained, and positive learning environments with teachers who are not just, listen to these words, not just accountable, but also responsible for student learning. Because you see, accountability is part of the job description, and it's based on a teacher's actions, or it can be evaluated with quality data. On the other hand, responsibility is a moral and ethical sensitivity to the effects of a teacher's actions. In other words, you cannot assign a sense of responsibility to teachers because it is a character quality that they must choose for themselves. So unless teachers take responsibility for educating our Black children, even with a broken education system, our Black boys and girls will continue to suffer academically. And so I want you to think about that. We don't need teachers to be accountable because that's part of the job description. You do what you're supposed to do. We want them to be responsible for our students to learn, and because that gives you a sense of morality. And so that's going to come from those teachers who have that passion for what they do. They're going to, not give up and go outside the box. They're going to do whatever it takes to make sure that the kids in front of them are learning.
Mm-hmm.
And so it takes someone with responsibility and not just that accountability. Okay, so I just wanted to throw that out there and give you something to think about. But what I have for you guys as we close this thing, Angie asked, like, what actions can we take to support Black students toward, educational equity? Well, this is our call for action. And so I want to task you guys, type in the chat one thing, just one thing that you can do, or that you, not that what you can do, one thing that you commit to doing in order to support our Black students in the classroom. So think about, what is it that you're committed to doing, no matter how small, how big. What is it that you can do tomorrow, next week? What can you do? What can you commit to do to support our Black kiddos? And I'm talking about your kids that are in the classroom. What can you do to support those kiddos? And just type that in the chat. This is your call for action. What are we going to do? It takes a village. We got to all do our part. So commit to what you're going to do and just type that in the chat. One thing. And I can tell you, I, for one, appreciate your commitment to what you're going to do, but our kids appreciate it even more. They need people like us on their side.
And you don't have to be in the classroom. It takes a village.
You don't have to be in the class. You can just, you can read to the kid next door. You can volunteer at the school.
Mm-hmm.
You can go up and read a book to the kids. You can, what can you do? What will you, not can you do, what will you do? What will you commit to doing? Providing a safe space for them to speak freely to me. That's good. Provide a sense of encouragement. That's top notch. And guess what, man? And you start with that and see where you take those kids, Kay. We're going to hold you to it. What else we got, Angie? Any other comments?
Yeah, they probably typing.
Well, if you don't type your comment today, just know that, we all need to make a commitment. This is our call to action. I thank Angie for even having this conversation and, creating a space where we can talk about these things, because we need to. I give you thank you, Kay. All right.
I love that.
And I know you will. I know you will. You know what, Kay? I got something for Kay too. Kay, you don't have to be a teacher, but this will help you with your commitment. It says teaching with poverty in mind. This is for Kay. It's by Eric Jensen. I didn't get this one signed, but I used this, and you'll see some notes in here and stuff. But I want to give this to Kay, because she was the first one to put her commitment in here, and that's what we need. And so hopefully this will help you with that commitment. So congratulations, Kay. You're winner number 3.
Kay. Kay's actually in school to
winner,
be a counselor.
winner, chicken dinner.
So, yes, Kay's a former educator, and she's now a counselor.
I'm hungry.
Girl.
Oh, you're welcome, Kay. You're welcome, Kay.
Hey, look at April.
Look at all this richness here. All this good stuff.
Okay, April's in nursing outreach sessions to see where the kids are academically and what obstacles they may have, and meet them where they are to take them higher.
Oh,
yes.
Wow. She's talked like an educator.
Yes. Sorry, I have technical issues, Keena.
Oh.
Well, Keena, I could just put you in now. But yes. But yes, Kay is actually a school to be a counselor. So she's going to reach a lot of people, kids, and that's awesome. And April is in the medical field. So we need some people like this. Come on. Yes. Thank you. Yes. But Dr. Collins, and Kay, reach out to Dr. Collins via Facebook Messenger to get your book.
Your gift, yeah.
Yeah. And so we appreciate you, Dr. Lissa Collins.
You are so welcome.
Haircut We appreciate you and the haircut, because the haircut is giving. Um,
They see the picture on the flyer. They're like, this is not her. Yeah, it is.
yes,
Chop, chop. It's me.
yes. So we appreciate both of you, your hair, and you as a person. And
All
you
right. So
dropped
let
some
me see.
good
I
gems.
got Kay. I got my winners. I got Kay, Kena, and the first Kay
April.
Tyler.
Mm-hmm.
Who was the
Yes.
third one or the first one? Who was it? The
April.
first one? Oh, that's right.
April. Mm-hmm.
Because she spelled it with a Y, I think.
Yes.
See, I got you, April. There you go. Guillory, that's right.
And what I'm going to do is share this, and you could tell your people to even go to this group and see the video, because it's going to be up for 30 days per
Oh, okay,
Facebook.
so I get to watch it.
Yes, you get to watch it.
All right.
But it was a pleasure having you, Dr. Lissa Collins. We enjoyed it.
You guys,
Anybody want to say what a
thank you for
blessing you are?
joining us.
Yes. Kay said you're a blessing, Dr. Collins. April said gave you a lot of hand claps. So they love the session. And I'm so grateful and honored for you to come and give us your knowledge. So Dr. Collins, you want to say bye to everybody? Oh, she's stuck. Okay. Okay, Dr. Collins. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Have a
Bye-bye.
blessed evening. Keep hope alive.
Bye.